Whoa, Shalom, Yashala. This your wrong brother Hashar. And I want to welcome y'all to Empowering Preeminence Multimedia Productions. Y'all know how rock before I go any further. I want to give all praise to the Most High, AHLAYAWAN. That's how you say his name in the Paleo Hebrew. The Father of Yahushua, pre and post incarnate in human flesh. One of those grass flies there. But anyway, the Father of Yahushua, pre and post incarnate in human flesh. The Father of Noah, the Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I call them the quintuple patriarchs of the children of Israel. You heard me? Now, yesterday I saw the whole video of Brother Hashar and Priest Danyaahla going at it against G-consciousness and Hocab Malone, which I think was a complete waste of time, with all due respect to Hashar and Priest Danyaahla, because these guys is not on y'all level. Alright? I'm gonna say it again. These guys is not on y'all level. You heard me? And that stupidity, bro, substantiated, confirmed, and proved it. You heard me? These guys is not on y'all level. You heard me? The topic was about whether or not salvation was exclusively to one race of people, which is the Hebrew Israelites, or does salvation pretty much implicates other nations, or involves other nations outside of the genetic racial circumference of the children of Israel, the patrilineal of black people. You understand? And I mean, man, it kind of drained me to see this, because every time that Priest Danyaahla, a Brother Hashar, but especially Priest Danyaahla, was bringing out scriptures proving that salvation was exclusive to the children of Israel, these idiots, G-Kon, or G-KKKON, you understand, putting the 3 Ks by it, if you know what I mean, you heard me, and Vocab Malone, they kept trying to go to scriptures that combats and contradicts, you understand, what the Most High have already clearly uttered out of his mouth. You understand? Within context, the scriptures that these brothers, meaning Hashar and Priest Danyaahla, was bringing about, you understand? It was within its context. It was contextually brought out. You understand? And what does context mean? It means to interlock something together. Interlock something together. You understand? To intertwine something together, interwoven. You understand? In other words, basically, it has to circulate a particular subject, or compartment of a subject. You understand? That's what context means. You heard me? And that's exactly what the brothers Hashar and Priest Danyaahla was professing in. They professed that. They brought to you Isaiah chapter 40 verse 17, where it says that all I think Hashar did, all the nations are as nothing to him, and they just a drop of a bucket. If the Most High is saying that these nations are nothing, and then you niggas swear to God that the pocket is full of ish, when you got the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verses 54 to 56 saying the same motherfucking thing, my nigga. You heard me? They saying the same freaking thing. You understand? The scripture saying that the other nations are a spittle to him, which means spit. You understand? Every time, like I saw Digital Pitballs. He did a video about Kevin Gills. And he had to take a spit outside the window. He said, sorry about that. Why would he say that? Why would he say that? Because maybe some people don't want to see nobody spit in the video. I understand that. I wouldn't either. And I'm pretty sure Pitballs would. That's why he apologized. When you spit something out, man, it's undesirable. You understand? It's vile. You understand? Saliva has no desire, man. Once it's regurgitated and excommunicated from one's mouth, and that's what the Most High is saying. They are compared to spit. They are compared to the mucus that comes out that spit. The mucus, the blood, whatever. You heard me? That's what it's saying. And Brother Hashar brought you Isaiah chapter 45 verse 17 when it says that Israel shall have an everlasting salvation. Everlasting salvation shall be unto Israel. But no, Hocab Malone wants to bring out the scripture, I believe, the epistle, I believe, in Romans chapter 3, I think verse 9, then he would jump to 19, where it says, are we better than the Gentiles? You understand? Of course he's not better than the Gentiles, because once again, contextually speaking, context is very significant. Contextually speaking, the Gentiles that was spoken about, you understand, in that particular epistle that he went to in Romans chapter 3 verse 19 is what? Is what? The Hebrew Israelites. And it's amazing because y'all went to Isaiah chapter, not Isaiah, I'm going to get to Isaiah 2. Y'all went to Romans chapter 9 verses, what is it? 24 to 26. Y'all went to the epistle of Paul, you heard me? And y'all tried to prove that salvation is also included other nations when it clearly says it's exclusive to the Israelites. And Captain Tazaria from ISRAELITES bust that ass last year when y'all called to his show. He proved to you that in Romans chapter 9, verses 24 to 29, I think he went to verse 24 to verse 27. You understand? He escorted you to the book of Hosea chapter 1 verse 10, verses 9 and 10, because that's what Paul was quoting when he says O-C, O-S-E-E, O-S-E-E, that's Greek for Hosea, wrong? O-S-E-E, that's Greek for Hosea. You heard me? That's Greek for Hosea, who was a Hebrew Israelite prophet, one of the minor prophets, one of the so-called minimal prophets of the Most High. You understand? And it says that ye are no longer my sons, referring to the northern kingdom of Israel, the house of Israel, the northern kingdom. But then it says in verse 10 in Hosea chapter 1 that they will be called his son. They will be called the sons of God, and they will be as the sand of the sea. The house of Israel and the house of Judah shall be as the sand of the sea. Which brings me to Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. Y'all say Revelation chapter 7 verse 9 referring to the children is referring to the non-Israelite. That's a damn lie. You prove to me one scripture where the phrase, you understand? The phrase, hold on. Well, the phrase, which no man can number. That's a key phrase. That phrase, which no man can number, you understand, have always been exclusively to one race of people, and that's the Hebrew Israelites, which no man can number. That's the key phrase. The Lord shall make thy seed great as a sand of the sea, which no man can number. Genesis chapter 22 verse 17. Genesis chapter, I believe, 28 verse 14. You heard me? Genesis chapter 32. Exodus chapter 32 verse 13. You heard me? Numbers chapter 23 verse 10. Who can count the fifth? Who can count the fourth of Jacob? That's only 25% out of 100% of the children of Israel. The scripture says that no man can do a successful census bureau to calculate that many people. That little estimate, that little amount. You understand? Nobody can count 25% out of 100% of the children of Israel, according to Numbers chapter 23 verse 10. That phrase, which no man can number, was only exclusive to the Israelites only, bruh. Not outside the Israelite nation. But that's what y'all Christians teaching, and y'all bearing false witness. What does the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 11 says? It says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. That's what it says. All right. And not to mention, you got Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 7, where it says that the children of Israel could be compared to what? The rosebuds of the field. And then, on top of that, you have the book of Job. You heard me? The book of Job, chapter 5, verse 25, where it says that his seed shall be as the grass of the earth. You understand? And once again, going back to the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10, it says that the children of Israel, the house of Israel, and the house of Judah shall be as the sand of the sea, which no man can number. So you get all the scriptures together, and you link that with Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, and there's your answer. The great multitude is talking about the Israelites only, bro, not the other nations. The other nations gonna be in captivity. You understand? You heard me? You want to catch your cutler, daddy? You want to go to war with me with the scriptures? Nigga, I'll take it to Pseudo Picker for my nigga. I'll take it to the Pseudo Picker for wrong. The Psalm of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 8. The Lord's salvation shall be unto the house of Israel, and they shall be happy forever. Even the Pseudo Picker, which many people don't subscribe to, we even say that the children of Israel is the Most High's people, and salvation is exclusive to the children of Israel only. You want to take it there? You want to take it to the early stage of the book of Songs of Solomon, where it says the Gentiles shall trodden the land of Jerusalem, the town of Jerusalem, like something similar that Yahweh said in the book of St. Luke chapter 21, verse 24, the same scripture that Priest Danyaahla brought out? Come on, catch your cutler, daddy. You heard me? Bring it to me. You understand? And let me go to Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6 right quick. You mentioned that I gotta paraphrase it, but they mentioned the tribes of Jacob, the preservation of Israel, and as well as being light to the Gentiles. Well, this just shows you how much you don't study scripture, Ron. The key word, and I know is that you miss out on three key words. I'm only give you one out of three key words that you missed out. The key word is light. Now ask yourself this, all right? Ask yourself this. The light, you heard me? The light of the Gentiles. What's the purpose of the light? And what is that light? Well, when you go to the book of St. John chapter 1, it will clearly tell you between verses 1 to 11, verses 1 to 9, and then to 14, when it says the word became flesh. You understand? The word is that light. You enlighten someone with words. You enlighten someone with truth. You understand? Because if they were once upon a time in the dark, that means that they were in the stage of ignorance. But now they have been enlightened by some words, by words of truth. Now they have a sense of awareness now. And because they have a sense of awareness, they have no pretext, no excuses to go back to where they was and backslide. That's what you did, G-Kon. You had that light, bruh. You had that light, Ron. You once knew that you're an Israelite, but you went back to Christianity because it's much convenient for you. You ain't got to keep the Sabbath no more. You understand? You can eat pork, if you want. You can eat crawfish if you want. You understand? You can marry a divorced woman if you want. You understand? And worse yet, you including all nations. That's the main stench of Christianity. Integration, racial integration. You understand? That's the stench of Christianity. You heard me? Oh man, look, I ain't gotta worry about my wife getting being separated, man, from her family after the purification of the birth. The laws are done away with. The law is no longer relevant because Christ fulfilled the laws. You stupid idiot. Especially you, Vocab, because you was teaching that crap in Joel Benjamin's platform. You heard me? Now going back to the light. The word for light in the Hebrew is awar. A-H-W-A-R. Okay? Now, once again, according to St. John chapter 1, John was not that light, but John was a witness of the light. The light is the word that became that was incarnate in flesh. Okay? That's talking about Yahushua. But we know that ultimately the word is a possession of the Most High. You understand? So that word that's intermingling with light, they are conjoined together. You heard me? That light and that word is interlocked together. They are simultaneous. You understand? They are synonymous together. So when the scripture says be a light unto the Gentiles, how can you be a light unto the Gentiles when the light was made only exclusively to one race of people? Because when the word became flesh, the word, which is that enlightenment, Yahushua said himself, the word that came into flesh. You heard me? Yahushua, the light. You understand? Or shall I say, the product of the light. You heard me say, I'm going to say product of the light. And what happened? What happened? You understand? He said in the book of St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6, that I am not sent. I, the product of the light, is not sent unto is not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He said the same thing in St. Matthew, I believe, chapter 15, verse 24. We talked to the so-called Canaanite woman. You heard me? This is what he says. This is what Yahushua says. And then when you go to the book of St. John chapter 11, verses 9 and 10, he says that are there not 12 hours in a day? That's verse 9. Did I say St. John 10? I think it's St. John 11. Maybe I did just say St. John 11. I don't know. But anyway, St. John chapter 11, okay? He says that are there not 12 hours in the day? This is what he says. Are there not 12 hours in the day? He said that if a man walks in the daytime, he's stumbling not because the light is in him. Perfect example. It's sunny out here. It's kind of cloudy, but it's still very, very visible. And when I shot this video, when I started shooting this video earlier, it was sunny outside. That's a perfect example, which means that I have no excuse, no pretext to stumble upon them, because everything that encompasses me, that capitulates me, is very visible, is very transparent to the naked eye, because the light is in me. But when it's dark, you gotta be ultra circumspect. You gotta be ultra careful, because that which capitulates you can no longer be seen and made transparent and visible in the naked eye. So therefore, you're gonna go through stumbling blocks. But who was he telling this to? He was telling this to the Israelites. So that light to the Gentiles, there was the light to the Israelites who took upon the customs that's outside of the instructive circumference, which is the Torah, which is the law, the instructions. We took upon the customs of the heathens, sacrificing pigs against our own accord, like it is in the book of First Maccabees and Apocrypha. You understand? The whole, burning incense for the Kemetic Queen of Heaven, according to, I believe, Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 13. You understand? Man. So if you want to go to Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6, little daddy, you heard me? Pay very close attention to those words, cause that's one of the main things I learned my second year in the truth. You understand? pay attention to the words. Very significant, very key. All right? Very key. Like I said, don't underestimate pseudepigrapha, man. Particularly Volume 2. If you want to underestimate Volume 1, I can understand. Cause I read some stuff in Volume 1, man, which is completely asinine. But so far, man, for what I read, in the book of Jubilees, I say it's legit, personally. I do like what I see from the martyrdom and ascension of Isaiah. Because there's a particular scripture that says that Christ was hung on the tree. Just like it says in Acts chapter 5, verse 30. You understand? And of course, I like the Psalm of Solomon. I like the Odes of Solomon. You understand? What it says in Hebrews, I believe, chapter 5, about being a babe in the truth. You can't jump right into meat. You gotta consume that milk first. Alright? So, having said all that there, man, I believe I said my piece. And for that, I want to say Shalom, Shalom Alaikum, Shalom, and all that there. You dang. Peace.